Well, the winter storm watch has been released, and that was released at 3 a.m. So this is fairly fresh, covering the majority of central Iowa and mostly the northern parts from 6 p.m. Saturday to 6 a.m. Sunday. That is that critical time frame where we're going to see that potentially heavy snowfall. Now, this heavy snowfall means we're going to see it in a very short amount of time, not so much as we saw it last weekend where it was spread out from Friday evening through nearly Sunday. So once again, Saturday evening through Sunday mornings when we have this weather impact alert going active, we're looking at heavy snowfall rates. Got to keep your eyes peeled, especially if you're traveling at any point Saturday evening through Sunday morning. And of course, even advice for myself, get your snow shovels ready because some of us are looking at a fair amount of snowfall coming in. We do have all day today to at least mildly enjoy some time at or maybe even above the freezing line. But some light snow flurries in that northeastern part of the state are a possibility. This won't accumulate to really anything, but it is that sign that the wind will move back to the northwest. So the amount of time we have with the southwest wind will have a bigger impact on what we see out of this system for Saturday than we really honestly want to admit, because there's still some nuances with this that are going to make it a little bit of a trickier forecast. So we're looking at these bands developing right in the middle of it, and as it gets in to northern Iowa, where is it going to line up? Currently between Spencer through Grinnell looks to be the most consistent area to see that heavier band of snowfall. And down towards the south, if you're closer to the Missouri state line, you're probably looking at seeing a wintry mix, so your snow total amounts will, of course, be on the lower side of things. But we also have this northeast wind coming in with it. So once we're done with the snowfall and that moves out, the cold air is going to sink in right behind it. So this is generally what we're looking at. Once again, from Fort Dodge all the way through the Newton, Grinnell, Oskaloosa area, having the best chance of seeing that 4 to 7 inches of snowfall mark. And then the gradient forward of where we see the drop off will be fairly tight. So we could be looking at a 10-mile gap between areas getting just around 2 to 3 inches of snowfall and maybe some areas seeing that 6, maybe 7 inches of snowfall. So the track of this heavier band becomes the most important part of all of this. We're all looking at a good chance of snowfall, but where we see the heavier amounts does come down to very specific tracking. But right now, it's Friday. We have today. It's 21 degrees outside, which is kind of an odd thing to celebrate to an extent, but given the past couple of mornings, we'll celebrate this. We've had the south wind between 10 and 15 miles per hour. It is giving us a pretty rough wind chill, but we all are at least close to the same page in the low 20s, if not on the cooler side, like Fort Dodge and Iowa Falls in the upper teens, but still maybe a 3 or 4 degree spread. Once we get through the snowfall, once again, another drastic drop in our temperatures, high of 18 for Sunday, but we're not looking at extreme cold overnight. We could be looking at some rough wind chills, but it's a pretty quick bounce out of that when we get into Monday and Tuesday. Now, Monday also has its own chance for some very light snowfall. This is a very weak wave passing through. Once we get to Tuesday and Wednesday, we get that time above freezing. This will thaw a little bit out because we also have a lot of sunshine for Tuesday. But Wednesday and Thursday, another couple of rounds of maybe some lighter snowfall. Accumulation amounts are starting to at least come up with this, but still too far out to really give any major details. So we get to the end of the week, and we're still holding in these mid-20s. And what this is shaping up to be is a fairly cold month of December for us.